Welcome everyone, welcome to another preview. This is MetalCanyon and we'll be checking out a game by Owlcat Games, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. This is the second Pathfinder game, I believe, that they've released. I have not played the previous one, and for those of you that might not know, well, I don't know quite actually, but Pathfinder, I believe, is a variation of the Dungeons and Dragons system. It is basically D&D, but it has many variations to it. So this will be a look at a Pathfinder game that I've never played before, and a perspective from someone that knows how to play D&D. For example, I've played a lot of 3.5, 3.5th edition, but I've never played Pathfinder, so we'll see what sort of similarities are there, and so on and so forth. Now, I will try to avoid spoilers, but of course there will be some spoilers ahead, but I'll try to avoid any of the story spoilers, so we'll just look at some combat dialogue and such. So let's start. All right, here we are in the game. This is not really a secret, but the overarching story of the game is that Canabris, which is this city here, has been attacked by the demonic army from the Abyss. And yeah, the problem is that these cities, including Canabris, have these giant ward stones which stop the world wound, which apparently is some kind of a rift between the Abyss and the mortal realm. It stops it from growing, and now that is in danger. So your party is tasked, amongst other things, of course, to try and save the ward stone. Anyway, here's my party right now. You sort of start with really just yourself, and then you collect party members as you go along. It is your choice whether you wish to take them with you or not, of course. Now, because this is a Dungeons and Dragons game, you have alignments. So if we look at my character here, a tiefling, I'm a chaotic good character. And alignments do play a role in these games quite a bit, for spells, for attacks, and so on and so forth, but also for dialogue, for choices. And, you know, you might not want to necessarily take a chaotic evil character into your party, for example. As you can see, there's a lot of things you can pick up, use. I'm actually flabbergasted to see just how many different weapons are in the game, from short swords, long swords, bastard swords, rapiers, daggers, crossbows, halberds, axes, this, that, you know, there's a bunch of stuff, not to mention spells. I'm really, actually impressed by how much things are in there. So I'm gonna open the map. Oh, here we go, some stuff. Collect loot. What you can do is hold and press tab, which actually puts an outline over your character, other characters, and also lootable stuff, so you don't have to pixel hunt saying, oh, can I loot this, can I loot that. Also, the first time you come across something that is lootable, you could see there, it gives it a yellow outline. So let's see where we haven't been yet. We're gonna go over there and probably have some combat. So this Canabris, oh, there's zombies over there. We're actually going to try to game them a little bit. They're quite tough. A lot of the enemies in here in the game, of course, have damage reduction, which means that normal weapons would not be that necessarily useful.
We stand.
I'm going to give her...
We will win this war.
I'm going to give her the, not the Marching Terror, but the Dark Horn. We're going to give her the second option here. Because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different equipments you can have, so you can just swap between them easily. Also in combat, it doesn't seem to really take any of your stuff away, any of your
Are we in trouble yet?
actions. So we're gonna use you. No. Come back here. Just shoot at them.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Oh, you can't shoot at them from here?
You
there we go.
won't survive
Save the
me.
last one for me.
Alright, so here's a really cool thing. Right now, see, 3 reduced. So he did hit, but only did 3 damage because this guy has damage reduction. First of all, listen to the music. I have it down, but holy moly. Okay, let me put it back down because otherwise you won't hear me. But I have to say, this game has some of the most epic, awesome music I've heard in a long time. I love it. I love it. I love it to bits. I love it. Especially here in Canabres, the combat music is awesome. Let me give you some stuff. Like a short bow. So we can give our tiefling rogue here a short bow, so we can fight these guys from afar.
Surrender or else.
And yes, everyone has their own voice as well. This is my wizard, like I said, and because I'm not really acquainted with the Pathfinder classes and such so much, I've picked a class of a wizard, a exploiter wizard, and I don't think I really did well with assigning his base stats, because the game told me that intellect and charisma are very important, but what I found, of course, because I haven't played D&D in a long time, because I have such a low dexterity score, a lot of my spells are touch spells, which means that I have to have a proper dexterity score in order to successfully hit stuff at range, and using a crossbow, obviously also a dexterity check. So, yeah, not that great. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm still very much enjoying this. So where are you gonna go? You're just gonna go here and wait for now. So, what I wanted to say is the really cool thing is, this is right now turn-based combat, right? So you've got both turn-based combat, but I can press T, and suddenly we're in real-time combat with pause. Look at this. And I can pause it, and I can press T again, and we go back to turn-based combat. This is awesome. It is really, really awesome, and it gives people from both camps what they want. People like me, for example, that very much prefer turn-based combat, especially because this is D&D. I can have that. And people that want real-time with pause, they can have that as well. And the really nice thing is, this is not, it's not half-assed. I'm just going to skip my turn here. It's not half-assed, because if you look at turn-based stuff, I've got everything I want in turn-based. Everyone gets their turn. Everyone has their move actions, attack actions. Oh, bloody hell, Shadow. Okay. We'll need some cold iron for this guy, because he's pretty much immune to normal attacks. I hate this thing. Can you actually attack this guy? Well, actually, yeah, now you've changed your weapons and you cannot attack. Okay, that's fine. He's got a nifty sword with fire on it. So I'm gonna ignore the shadow and go for these guys. Nice. You can actually reduce the amount of gore, but it is very satisfying when this happens, I do have to say. What are you gonna do, Ember? You can't really do much here. Well, she did 2 damage. Not much, but considering that normal damage with a crossbow would do practically 0, this is something. I could use a molten orb here, but again, my wizard is very, very bad at trying to hit anything. For example, miss. So you can also hover over the combat log here, which you can expand however much you want, up to a point, of course. You can hover over it, and it'll tell you attack result 7. Roll was just a meager 5, and modifier is +2 because my base attack bonus is +1, and of course the +1 dexterity modifier because I've got such low dexterity. Unfortunately, that was a miss because this guy's AC is 12 apparently. So yeah, it doesn't have a lot of AC, but he does have. Oh yeah. You can charge now.
Did I mess up again?
Why can you? Apparently it's blocked. Also, she needs to heal herself, which is nice. 5 immune to probably cold. No, to negative. Okay, because that spear also has negative damage to it. If you're unsure about something, you can just go and right-click on it, info, and you get everything. How much damage it does. 1d10 +1 slashing, so it's a +1 weapon. Plus 1d3 negative damage. And attacks with this weapon get +1 enhancement bonus on both attacks and damage rolls, and it's also called iron. This iron, mined deep underground and known for its effectiveness against demons and fake creatures, is forged at a lower temperature to preserve its delicate properties. Now, because it is cold iron, some of the enemies that do have a that do have damage reduction, apart from cold iron, you can get past that damage reduction with the cold iron. Now, I'm explaining these things to people that might not be familiar with the D&D stuff, so bear with me if you know. But I just think it's very, very cool, because even someone that doesn't really know much about Dungeons & Dragons, yeah, the learning curve will be reasonably high, but you'll be able to just learn with the tutorials, because every now and then when something happens, something particular, you will get a tutorial screen explaining what happened. For example, oh, you've just hit the shadow and you did 0 damage. This is because the shadow has blah blah blah, you know, this sort of reduction. Or it'll actually say for the shadow that it's practically immune to any sort of normal mundane damage, so you need to use something like cold iron, or, you know, an enhancement weapon, or it'll even suggest a spell for you to use if it was my wizard. So she doesn't have lay on hands anymore. She's a paladin. Seela, so she might die here, actually, which is not very good, because I went into this combat with both her and my own character quite damaged. Now it is the turn of Woljuf, who's got some really high damage output. So
this spell's faulty. No, really.
There we go, 2 sneak attack. That would have dealt a whole lot of damage, but of course this is a shadow, which means... Okay, it's actually going for him, which is not a bad thing right now.
Make every strike count.
Basically, Lan over here does a whole lot of damage. So does Woljif. Seela does a lot as well when she hits. And it's my guy that actually doesn't do much at all. But I'm thinking with higher levels and higher level spells, he'll get more and more useful. I just don't quite understand why I needed to get so much charisma, but yeah, I followed the recommendation. We're gonna heal her. This is a touch, of course. +9, that was actually really good. Look at that. 1d8 +3, almost maximum. Right, we can also have some light on angels. Very pretty effects, I do have to say. Now, as far as combat goes, it might not look as pretty or as polished as, for example, Divinity Original Sin 2. Oh, she just ran out of actions, I suppose. Oh yeah, this is something else I should explain. Yeah, the combat itself might not look as polished. The game looks very nice, don't get me wrong, but the actual animations when you're attacking stuff, there's not that much feedback when you hit something. Usually there's no animation for stuff getting hit. So in that respect, it's not quite as polished as Divinity Original Sin 2, for example, or Baldur's Gate 3. But on the other hand, this game, with the dialogue, with the combat, with the music, really gives me a feeling of being in Dungeons and Dragons. Really gives me... It takes me back to my childhood when I was playing Baldur's Gate 2. And I think that's fantastic. So let's see if she can hit this thing. Let's actually... You know what? Let's smite evil. I think this thing is evil aligned, so this will give her certain bonuses. For example, it'll add her charisma bonus to her attack rolls and add her paladin level to all damage rolls. So we can actually check this. Smite evil, there we go, +2. So this thing is aligned evil. Now let me just explain. When I was talking about turn-based combat, ouch, this might hurt. Where are you going? So, you can see here, 5 feet. So everything is in there. If you're playing turn-based combat, you're not missing out on anything. If you prefer turn-based combat, it's all there. So if I hold shift, for example, I can do a 5-foot step to avoid attacks of opportunity and such. The only issue here I see is that the game, at least I don't see that the game would tell you when you'll be getting an attack of opportunity. So for example, if Woljif was to move over here, both the shadow and the zombie would attack him. And, you know, if I press shift to do a 5-foot step, there's no indication that, you know, they're not going to do an attack of opportunity. But, you know, it's nice that it's there. Then you've got your move action, of course, and the standard action. Now, some of them, like full round actions, take all of it, like the charge, which is a full round, as you can see up there, casting time. But everything is really nicely explained. And like I said, there's a lot of tutorials here. If we go into... No, it's here. There we go, tutorials. You can turn on and off a lot of stuff. Basic tutorial, controls, advanced, gameplay, Pathfinder rules, crusade, armies. Here's the really weird thing. I have been playing this game for about 12 hours now. I have barely scratched the surface. I kid you not. I have not come to the crusade or the armies tutorial yet, because I believe the city, if you don't want the spoiler of how the city looks, look away right now. I'm going to open the map. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I thought I could look at the entire map here. But yeah, the map of the city feels like a world map of an you know, another game. It's that big, and that's many things to do. Like I said, I love the environment, but I have barely scratched the surface, and there's so many other things to do. Let's keep going. Let's try to kill this thing. Now, it would probably be easier to just destroy the zombie.
Cover me, all right?
I see. That's what I'm talking about. 11 damage. And he goes for him as well. I'm not really sure how that works, because you see that he's got 2 attacks. He's dual wielding. So normally when I would attack the zombies, that would be it. The other attack would be wasted. But he also goes for this one, I guess, because it was in melee range. So that's quite nice. Now, instead of wasting the arrows from Lan on the shadow, I'm gonna go for this zombie here.
You've crossed the wrong
Now they've
Mongo.
got, oh darn it, they've got damage reduction as well, but this works a little better. Yeah, can you hit that one?
Too late for apologies.
Nope, that's not gonna work. I really like the voice acting as well. I wasn't entirely sure about it at first. You know what? Let's do a little bit of this. Why not? Can I get both of them? Now this is not gonna do full damage, unfortunately. Oh well, just use it on one. And there's my character. It was a miss. I don't really understand why that's a full miss. So, you know, not even splash damage is applied. But yeah, that's my character's dexterity. It sucks. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way of changing his stats much, apart from using items and such. Also, fun stuff. In a lot of D&D games, you never get to play with really fun spells, because they sort of cherry pick what's viable and not. But here, it almost seems like they give you practically everything from the rulebook, from the core rulebook, like the enlarged person. You know, you could actually make someone larger, for example. There we go. She's now considered large, not medium, and she's got reach, so she could attack from, I don't know, over here with that spear. But she should be doing more damage now. Oh, nice. And she can... Now she's gonna wait for this guy. You've also noticed there's quite a few things up here. For example, there's the S, which is skills or spells in this case. No, sorry. These are... Yeah, this is the spell book. You've got the cantrips and the first level over here. Now, he is like a rogue wizard, I believe, so he has to memorize spells first. But someone like Ember here can use any spells on her list because she's a witch. Here you've got actions, different sort of stuff like coup de grace, which is in the game. I haven't actually tried that. I should try that on characters that have been downed. I've never tried that before. You've got demoralize, resist acid, and so on and so forth. And of course you've got your items that you can put on the character's quick use thing. For example, potions. Where are they? God, this music is so epic. Like this, for example. It doesn't really cost anything to do so, but it does cost to drink. And of course, if I was in melee range, that would get an attack of opportunity. So you have to be a bit more careful. Let's just go attack this
Stab you
guy.
or zap you? Why not both?
Yeah, I really like the voice acting, actually. I would say it ranges from good, with a slight minus, to excellent. Most of it leaning on excellent. So I'm actually really, really happy with that. We can also use his key power for an extra attack, even though in this case I suppose it's kind of wasted because these guys have a lot of damage reduction. But there you go, you know, he killed it anyway. Lan is very, very, very good at that. The really cool thing is...
I'll hit you!
Well, you won't. One of the really cool things that I found was the fact that... Okay, let's see if we could actually hit something. Most likely not. Yeah, that's as per usual. God, my character is useless.
I'll cut you wide open!
Like I said, I've been playing for about 12 hours. Really? 0 with that rapier of hers? Huh.
Into the fray!
Oh, nice. 16. Very nice. There we go. Scrolls. You have the scroll of Cure Light Wounds. Your character Delisar can read it to heal the wounded ally Delisar, well, himself. The scroll is an expendable item that contains a spell, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. It tells you everything. And the cool thing is, all of these bold, sort of purple words, you can hover over them, and it tells you exactly what it is. And if you want to read more, you just right-click. There you go. Even more information. And then, you know, you can keep going. There's an encyclopedia. What are saving throws? So basically, if you wish to learn about Dungeons & Dragons through playing a game, you can play this game and learn about all the rules. So if I press and hold tab now, there you go. We can see what we can loot. But let's also heal.
Trust me.
She's got nothing left.
Trust in yourself.
So
I shall not
at this
fail.
point, we should really make camp. And just for purposes here of showing you, we'll do so. Lovely place for a camp here. Absolutely lovely. You place it down. You have to have enough space to actually place it down. But when you do, you can pitch camp. It might not let me. No, it will. Free spell slot. Oh yeah, it tells us that Camellia here has a free spell slot. I'm not really sure why it goes to a random character when you press I to go to the inventory. That's slightly annoying, but you know, not a huge thing. So spellbook. Yeah, there we go. Level 2. We can give her some moderate wounds, bull strength for the spirit magic, and what else? We could do aid. Grants a +1 morale bonus on attack rolls and saves against fear. No, you know what? Let's do restoration, because there's some negative energy attacks with these foes as well. Let's check the others as well. Now, considering I'm a wizard, I don't have access to all of the spells. I have to learn them or scribe them in my book. She's a paladin. He's a wizard. Well, rogue wizard. And she's a witch, so she's already used up all of her spells here. Alright, so then you simply rest, and then you've got another sort of mini-game here to play. You have to do protective rituals in order to avoid abyssal corruption, which is everywhere. You have to camouflage your camp to reduce surprise attacks. You have some people on night watch, which will raise the alarm. And you've got someone doing alchemy and scroll scribing. I don't have the scroll scribing kit right now, so I cannot really do that. So if you click on this, it actually tells you what kind of a bonus each character will have, which is very nice. Chance of success only 45%, unfortunately, because the DC is 19 here, which, yeah, it's not very good. Camouflage, -10 for her. She's not very good at that. We've got a night watch here, and with alchemy, so he's just gonna make some seasoned wings and ties. Now for this, we do need ingredients, which we do have. And it's a DC 14, interesting. Or you can just do a hearty meal, which just requires the purifying solution, which purifies unclean food and, you know, purifies it of corruption. And each thing gives you some sort of a bonus, like +1 temporary hit point per level for a day, or +1 cooking bonus on all skill checks for a day. That's not bad, actually. Yeah. Well, we're gonna do this for now. Ugh! Did you see that? These wings. Tainted fowl. This is a cooking ingredient. You can use it to cook something during rest. Ugh. But of course we do have the purifying solution. So then you can rest for the recommended period, which is, I suppose, like 2 days. Resting takes a long time. Sometimes it says, oh, your characters have been resting for 3 days. And I think to myself, what the hell? 3 days? Some of the things in the game are not voiced, but a lot of it is. There will still be a fair bit of reading involved, just like Baldur's Gate 2, for example, but a lot more, I would say, is voiced than not. So, you know, be prepared about that. But chances are, if you're interested in a game like this, you won't mind reading. Now, sometimes there's quite a lot of reading, especially when you get back to, you know, a town, back to base here, for example, where there's a lot of NPCs and a lot of quests to get, and so on and so forth. You can also skip stuff with space if you're not interested. So obviously fail to weaken impact of corruption. I think so far in all my 12 hours, I have yet to do this successfully. It's actually quite funny. So this was successful. All right, continue. So we have rested for 2 days. So we've replenished some of the health, not all of it, unfortunately. And these guys still have dexterity damage, strength damage, and strength damage here from the negative attacks. Now I could use, considering this is dexterity damage and he's a rogue, that's quite important.
I will help where I can.
So I will use a lesser restoration on him. And it's quite a long casting spell, so it takes a little bit. But there you go. +1 dexterity only. That's not great. So we'll need to do that again, but of course we don't have another spell in that slot at the moment. So nothing we can do about that. Let's see some dialogue, for example. Uh-oh. So sweet it is to kill. Really cool effects. I like that. Yeah, game looks really good, I would say. Very polished. And now we have to fight more zombies. And lovely music. Sometimes you also get to check something on the ground or a statue or something, and you get a check with your skills. For example, here it's religion. You can't really attack this guy too far. Okay.
Endure this.
Bit of a shame. Let's use an orb. Here. Get all three now. What do you mean? He's gonna miss anyway. No, he actually didn't. Only 6 damage though. That's not very good. Are these guys? No. They're not resistant to that. Skip that for now. Go! Oh, that was a shame. That was a shame.
You won't stop us.
That's a bit annoying actually. I didn't notice that before, but this thing is in the way in combat. That should do it. Oh, nice. Didn't kill it though.
Make every strike.
There we go. Oh, these guys don't have damage reduction because they're ghouls, not zombies. Okay. That was a miss. Nice.
Aim carefully.
My guy, useful as ever. The character shoots at enemies engaged in melee combat. It's also cool that it tells you this because he gets a -4 penalty because he's shooting at enemies that are in combat. I do like that quite a bit.
The spirits demand your blood.
Get him. Nice. Alright, Woljif.
Distract them from me.
Nice! 17. I love that damage output. 12. Holy moly. He's just a powerhouse.
Surrender or else.
Oh, nice. Was that a critical? Ember attacks. Critical hits. So, critical hits, obviously natural 20 first, as you can see. But then it has to be confirmed. It was 17. 16 plus 1. So it was confirmed because the armor class is 14. So, yeah. That was nice. Nice. And the damage was 1d10 plus 1. Oh, wow. That was the maximum amount of damage she did. She got a 10 plus 1. And times 2, of course, for the critical. Oh, that was amazing.
Follow my steps.
Obviously, again, I'm trying to stay here and not show you too much about the game. I'm trying not to spoil it because I honestly have to say I am having so much fun with this game. I am loving it to bits. It really brought me back to my childhood playing, you know, like I said, oh, it's not too bad. Playing Baldur's Gate 2. It really gives me that feeling. I can do a lore religion check here.
Maybe I did something wrong here?
Okay, so we actually failed that check, unfortunately. But yeah, I like the characters. Oh yeah, there's another thing. Like I said, I haven't even scratched the surface, and I don't want to spoil it, but you get to control armies later on when Canabris, I guess, is liberated, and there's mythic paths available, which means that besides your class and such, there's like a legendary class thing you can get, but it's not just a normal class. No. It's not just, oh, you get 1 or 2 cool spells. No, you get to, like, transform into bigger, badder beings depending on what you want, and there's a bunch of options that you get throughout the story, and people and creatures react to that. Wait, where are you all going? I just love that, and I haven't even scratched the surface, and there's already been quite a few choices which I had to make which didn't feel superficial. For example, I had to make a choice whether I will take an evil-ish character that actually kind of wanted to do good, but her ways were evil, so I decided not to take her in. And when I learned of something bad, I'm not going to spoil it, I've decided I needed to kill her, and she escaped, and so on. You know, stuff like that. It didn't feel superficial. It felt important that I do this. And that it'll have consequences for later on. So here's going to be more dialogue. I'm not going to show you that. I know this has been sort of a very sort of slow preview where I didn't show you that much, but I hope I showed you enough of the combat, of the mechanics, of the graphics, of how the tutorial really gives you a good idea of what to do or what not to do. There's a bunch. I don't think I can do that right now. There's a whole bunch of classes you can get. And multi-classes. This is the alignment here, for example. Abilities. There you go. There's so many feats. Some of them are still missing. I see icons. I don't know if that's actually going to be changed or not. But, you know, that's fine. There's so many things. It really feels like a proper thing. Oh, you shouldn't look at that because it is spoilers. Yeah, I'm really flabbergasted by this game. I'm having so much fun with it. I love it. The music is so freaking epic. And I cannot wait to see where else it'll go and what kind of a mythic path I can get, because yeah, there's both good, bads, neutral, you know, and so on and so forth, mythic paths available, and a lot of them sound really epic. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little preview. Like I said, didn't want to spoil too much. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.